So today we're going to be taking the GoPro HERO9 black out surfing. But as you can see outside the windshield, it is pretty crappy weather outside. So what we are going to need to do is make a few presets so that we can change our settings while we're out in the water. Now, this is a good opportunity to talk about how to prepare your camera when you're going to use it out in the water. So we'll just talk about that real quick. Now, the first preset that I have set up, which I'd put under standard, what I've done with this, it's 2.7K 60 frames per second for super view. I want the 60 frames and I want super view, so that's why I chose that. A duration of 30 seconds because I don't want a whole long file. I just want to be able to catch basically when I'm on the wave, a little bit before and a little after. And then we have a high bit rate, an EV of -1, and we're doing that even though theoretically it would make the image darker. We do it so that we can force a faster shutter. The white balance is 5500, the ISO min is 400, and ISO max is 800. And then we're going with a flat color profile today and a medium sharpness. Now, why ISO 400 is because I want to be able to make sure that I have a fast shutter and that I'm exposing correctly. This is really low light out there, but the lighting might change. This fog might start to die off. So our second setting is just POV, 30 frames per second in super view, and that's when I use the bite mount if I want to be able to get forward facing looking at the wave. And then our main setting that we normally use for surfing on good days is our water setting here, and that's 2.7K 120 frames per second in wide. Now, for this one, we have a duration of 1 minute and a hindsight of 30 seconds. Now, this is the ideal setting for surfing for me. So that way I can actually catch a wave, and then once I'm done riding it, I hit the shutter button and I will have caught that wave, and I don't end up with a whole bunch of shots of me missing the wave, which isn't always fun to sift through. Once again, we're doing an EV of -1 and the white balance of 5000 Kelvin. I think that looks better when you're in a sunny day. The ISO here now is 100. The ISO max is at 800. Typically, actually, I would make my ISO max 100 or 200, but I'm hoping that I am able to get some footage in the 120 frames per second, so I'm keeping it at 800. I don't know, at this really low light, foggy weather, it might not work so well, so I'm thinking the 800 ISO is a better option. And then I'm going with a flat color profile once again. Often I just use the GoPro color, and I think that looks great, especially for just using the mobile app. But I did find that when I did my testing in low light, flat makes the image brighter. It does introduce more noise, but I am able to kind of get more to work with on that. And I do plan on editing this in my computer in DaVinci Resolve, so I'm going with that. Now, the big question is, so how am I going to change settings? So first off, whenever you use this camera in the water, you need to lock your screen. So before you go out into the water, you want to pull down here and hit this little lock button right here, that screen lock. If you don't, when the water drops hit this back LCD, it's going to cause your camera to read those as finger presses, and then you're going to get a lot of really wacky, crazy stuff. So always make sure you lock that rear screen. Now, when it comes to changing modes, though, let's go ahead and get out of the dashboard. Now, once we're out in the water, then the question is going to be, well, how do I change the settings? And so to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press in. See, it's on this side on this camera. I'm going to press in on the mode button and then press the shutter. And then that brings up all of my presets. And then I just use the mode to scroll down to whatever I want. So let's say I wanted to go to water, and then just hit the shutter, and it automatically then switches to that preset. If I want to change it again, press in on mode, hit the shutter, And once again, I just scroll through all of my presets and choose what I want. So there you go. That's how you use your GoPro Hero 9 in the water.